Hey everyone, Shane here from freetectorials.com, and I'm here today bringing your 6th Java tutorial. In this tutorial today we're going to be looking at comments, showing you guys what those are, how to code them, and why they're necessary, as well as we'll be talking about parameters and arguments. A huge part of programming, great thing to learn, and actually really cool, so we'll be looking at that today. So the first thing I'll talk about here is comments. Well, what a comment is, it's a way to basically make part of your code inactive, and that's done for multiple reasons. One reason it might be done is to, like, if you're kind of troubleshooting, you're not sure what may be wrong with your program, and you kind of want to take a piece of your code out without getting rid of it, obviously, because you may want to use it in the future. You can comment that out and it won't run in your program. Another good reason to do it is to add actual comments to your code. So say you build a program and a year from now it's not working right, you haven't looked at it, and you want to go back in and try to fix it. Well, you may not remember exactly what you did in every part of your code. So if you put comments in there to kind of remind yourself and explain what you're doing in different parts, then it makes it a lot easier whenever you or somebody else has to go back to it and look at it in the future. So there are two different types of comments. There are single line comments and multi-line comments. The first one we'll look at here is a single line comment. In Java, to do a single line comment, you're just going to do 2 forward slashes. So what that does is it just comments everything on a single line after the forward slashes. And as you can see in Eclipse here, it turned it green. So that's telling us, hey, anything that's green here is not going to be run when we run our program. So let's go ahead and test that. So as of right now, this is our program from the last tutorial, if you remember. What should happen now is it shouldn't run this correct method that we programmed last time. Since it's commented out here in green, it should only run this incorrect method down here. So let's test that and see if it works. Alright, that's good. Hit OK, and look at, there we go. It only ran this one right here. So by commenting that out, that told the program, hey, anything after these 2 slashes on this one line, just go ahead and ignore it. Don't do anything with that. So what we can do now is I'll show you what a multi-line comment is. And the difference there is that you just do 1 forward slash, an asterisk, and then you have to do an asterisk and a forward slash wherever you want it to end. So this is how you do multi-line comments. So obviously you could do 2 forward slashes on every single line that you wanted to comment out, but as you can see, that would get really cumbersome and kind of be a pain. So a way to do more than 1 line at a time is to do the forward slash and the asterisk, like the multi-line comments here. So since we've commented out both of our methods, our program shouldn't do anything if we run it now. So let's run it again and see if that's the case. And it doesn't. So it comes right here, it looks at this, it says, hey, these are commented out, I'm not even worried about that, and I got nothing else to run. Because if you remember before, these only run if they're specifically told to. Because they're not part of this main method, they only run if we tell it to, and by telling it to, that's what we do with these method calls right here. And since we've commented those out, they're not going to run. So the last thing I'll show you here is just basically the same thing, but it's a little bit more common, is to use comments for notes. So this is a method call. So in the future, if you ever came back to this program, you're like, what was I doing here? I don't even know what this is. You could see you left yourself a note. Oh, okay, this was a method call. Oh, that's right, I called it down here, or whatever the case may be. So that's why the comments are really useful. So it's really good to know, the single line or multi-line comments, whatever you need. It helps keep your code a little bit cleaner and easier to understand. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about here are parameters and arguments. So what these are pieces of information that you can add to your methods, and functions too, but we haven't talked about functions. We'll get to those in the future. What it is, it's a way to pass in information to your method. So like for instance here, we have this correct method call. We can pass in information that we want to be used within this method when it runs. So we're going to do that here. What we're going to do is we're going to change this example we have here a little bit, and instead of saying just correct great job whenever this method is called, we're going to use the person's name, whoever's taking the test. So we're just going to use my name for that. So what we need to do is we need to add the arguments to this, and so we're going to put in my name right here. And since it's like a type of string, it's text, we always put it in those double quotes there. Alright, so we got that in there, and as you can see now, Eclipse is kind of freaking out a little bit, it says that the method correct in the type of tutorial 6, which is our class here, our program, is not applicable for the argument's string. So basically we have a string argument here, which string is just text, and it's saying, hey, I see this correct method with one argument here, but I don't see any methods named correct that are expecting an argument. So what we have to do is we have to tell our correct method, hey, we're going to be passing you in some information, be ready for it. So to do that, we add what's called a parameter to our method here. So what we have to do is, first of all, we have to tell it what type of information we're going to give it. So we're going to do string here, and then we have to give it some type of variable to store that information in. So we're just going to call it name. So now what we've said here is, in our correct method, we have a parameter of type string, and we're going to store it in a variable called name. So this right here, this holding right here, this is our parameter. And so what we do is we pass our argument into our parameter so that we can use it in our method here. So what we can do here is we can go ahead and add name here to our output, and it should add the name to our program whenever we run it. So if you remember in one of the earlier tutorials, we have to do what's called concatenation here to combine a variable with string that we output to our user. So remember, to do that, we add a quote there, we'll add a space, we use the plus symbol, the name of the variable, another plus symbol, and then more quotes here. So we're going to have, if this works correctly, what we should have is it should print out correct, space, then Shane, and then comma, great job. And then for our incorrect method, it's still going to call it because we haven't commented anything out here, but we haven't changed it anyway. We haven't given it a parameter here or an argument here. So let's go and run this and let's see what it does. Alright, so we got correct, Shane, great job, and incorrect, try again. So that's exactly what we were expecting here. So that's perfect. So what we can do now, really just for practice and just make sure we got it down here, let's go ahead and add that to the incorrect method as well. So we'll go do 2 quotes there, put the name in there, we'll tell it what type of information it should be expecting and what variable to store it in, and then we'll go ahead and concatenate this variable into our output. Oops, name plus, and dang it. There we go. Alright, so everything looks good, no errors. Let's run it again, and our name should be, well, my name really, should be added into both of those when we run it. And there we go, we got correct Shane, great job, incorrect Shane, try again. So that is a little bit of explanation about parameters and arguments. We'll be using these a lot, so you get a lot of chance to go through it and kind of get a better understanding on this, but I hope this made sense. We also talked about single line and multi-line comments today, so I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.